the thing I wanted to touch on, which was kind of new to me when we had the discussion earlier, was the role that AI can play, not just in terms of the consumer, but in terms of the supply side, if you like. Kris, can you talk a bit about how AI is feeding into the business of retail as people learn how to use it properly, the ways that they can use it to make themselves more efficient or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody that's given it a go and had a look at the AI models and tools that are available at the moment will, it's an eye opener, I suppose, in terms of the prospect for the future. I think inevitably with these sort of waves of change, we sometimes overestimate the impact in the short term and underestimate it in the long term. Clearly with the pressures on retailers to absorb costs coming from the outside. AI is a positive opportunity to look at efficiencies from there, and also to support colleagues with supporting their customers and providing advice, etc. I think we're still in the early stages of what exactly that will look like, and how AI will become integrated within the online experience. I mean, I think I was watching a YouTube video just recently where it was about 20 years old. We were saying, well, will the internet take off? Will online shopping take off or not? And Jeff Bezos was there maybe 3 years into his business, saying, well, we're selling a lot of books. So things change, and I'm sure in 20 years' time it'll be quite revolutionary in terms of how the nature of work has changed, as well as how we consume.
Apologies. Colin, I think you've actually used AI or tried it out in some of your warehouses, etc. Could you talk about some of the specifics that you've
Yeah,
got an eye on?
yeah, AI to me, is it's going to change. But with regards to how you can use it, so AI in isolated instance that can give you decisions that are quite unique, and that you don't need to dovetail them into your operations, yeah, because it's a dovetailing into all the etiquette you've got with regards to systems and etiquettes in terms of pulling and making decisions. Yeah, that's a tough bit. So I'll just give a very basic example of where I see it. I see it as like an Excel at the minute. Is nobody does books anymore. You use Excel to add pivot to do all those things. Yeah. So the way that I see it is, I'm trying to give it. The example I use is, I went through my IT guy, said, look, explain it to me, and one of them basically we use these we call them iPods. They're actually iPhones, little scanners that we use to serve customers to see if the pair of shoes that they present the employee with is actually in stock in the stock room, so we don't make unnecessary trips. Yeah, and that's where technology works. Yeah, so we buy literally hundreds of these mobile phones, and we've got a kind of storage room. And he just went in, took a photograph of a big stack of iPhones. Yeah, there must have been about 90 or 100 of them, so high, so deep. And all he did was take a photograph and just ask a few questions to say, what is this? How many of them are there? What are they worth? Yeah. And in seconds, they came back with the right count. They'd identified what model of iPhone they were, and they'd put a value on it because they could get all that. Now, that's a splendid isolate, but you can use it for stock checking. But could you use it? The next extension is, if you've got a 40-foot truck at a warehouse with mixed cartons on with a manifest, it's not too different in terms of the variances. Yeah. So the way that I see it is, I'm trying to get my kind of guys at the back door, just one person to basically be given, on the phone with regards to Copilot or ChatGPT, or whatever you want to work at, yeah, and just get them to say, look, how can you, at an operational level, get it to work for you in isolated instances that bring value, yeah? And I'm pretty sure that we will get our money back on that pretty quick, yeah? So that's like the kind of lower granular end, yeah? And then at the top end, yeah, I mean, ultimately it should be making allocation decisions, forecasting fashion, but, I saw this a little bit with regards to basically working out what the searches were online, yeah? By looking at searches, you could determine what was going to happen next and what's hot, but it's never really materialized, yeah? So I think the point that was made that, yeah, it's going to be a game changer. It's not going to change things in the way that everybody thinks it's going to be, in my humble opinion, so quickly, yeah. But it's going to be out there, and it's going to grow, and it will be, we'll look back in. I don't think it'll be 10 years. Yeah, I think it'll be in a couple of years, and that's where the real value will come.